Hi everyone, welcome to the week 6 overview of assignments. As always, you'll have your learning outcomes and your assigned reading, which is chapter 11 of the Daniels and Zimmelman text this week. We're this week going to focus on instructional strategies for struggling readers and students of diversity, including ELL, and looking at our cultural views through the lens of the taxonomy of cultural responsiveness. We'll be talking about that as well. Your resources include your week 6 PowerPoint and the ELL glossary. This basically just tells you a lot of the acronyms that are used for English language learners, which used to be referred to more commonly as English as a second language, or ESL, but oftentimes these students learning English is not their second language. It could be a third or fourth. So it's more commonly referred to now as English language learners. So the forum that you will have for week 6 is, as it has been, the response to the textbook topics. You're going to present a new or interesting idea. You guys have done a great job with this in this course. Remember that you have APA and text citations and so on, the information that you need to use to be able to score the best possible on the rubric. And you guys have done a great job with that. So I'm not going to belabor that any. I'm going to go back and look at your PowerPoint assignments. So for week 6, you're going to be creating your Word document and answering the questions that are listed below. I'm not going to go through and read all of those to you. There are 3 of them, and it's for 10 points each to add up to 30 points, as all of these have been. Somebody asked a question, emailed me, somebody that was working ahead a little bit this week, asking about number 3. Why does Ohio use ELL instead of bilingual education for English language learners? And they said, checking with the ODE, they found that it was less to districts. And that may be accurate, but there is, to my knowledge, no bilingual education in Ohio. And there's a reason for that. So you might want to Google, why do some districts or some schools or some states have bilingual education as opposed to ELL, which is what we do in Ohio. So I want you to look through that, and I'll give you a key, a little bit of a clue here, that it has to do with how many students from different languages that are involved. So we're going to go ahead and go back. I think we're going to go ahead and do week 7 as well, since that one was pretty short. Bring up the overview, and this is about informal assessments to measure their specific learning outcomes, basically formative types assessments, and to understand how you can use data from these assessments and utilize those to form grouping and so on. Here are your learning outcomes and your assigned reading for the week. There's your PowerPoint, your forum for new learning. So you're going to use this to discuss 3 new things that you've learned in the course up to this point. I'm also asking that you share any changes that you think might be helpful. I like to get input from all the students in my courses to see if I can improve it in any way. This course I did just recently revise it. So if you see anything that you think not spot on or easier enough to understand, by all means, please let me know. Okay, so here is your PowerPoint response activity. I'm not going to bother even opening that because you've been doing that every week and you know what it is. Here, on week 7, your research paper is due. This research paper is just like in week 5, where we did the dyslexia assignment. It's due on both Chalk and Wire and Moodle. Here's the rubric. Please make sure, as always, that you keep that handy as you go through creating this. Now, the last section of the rubric, or next to last section here, this is the presentation, because you do have to download a video presentation to explain your research paper. Notice that in the highest category, you need to have a quality presentation and the assigned time limit of 3 to 5 minutes. Please do not focus too much on this. Here where it says it includes a visual/written, it's either one of them. It's not both of them. You're going to already be doing visual. This is kind of an artifact from when this class just most recently was face-to-face and then a face-to-face blended. So just a quality oral visual presentation is all you need. And the artifact section here is for Chalk and Wire. Please read that carefully as well. So here is your submission for the research paper for Chalk and Wire. Here's the slot for Moodle. And this portion right here is where you download or submit your video to explain it. Now, if you are science, and if you've been asked to let me know that already, this has a lot of information on this science paper if you are a science major. I'm not going to open it up and go through it with everyone, simply because not everyone needs to hear it or learn about it, because it's only for one person. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that alone and move on. I'm going to just briefly touch on week 8. Week 8 is very, very simple. I try hard to leave it that way and get the hard assignments out in the few weeks before so that you're not so overwhelmed with exams and so on. So this is a final exam that does not take very long to complete. And this explains what you need to do. And this portion right here where it says develop a presentation that demonstrates your understanding of an educational research topic, you're actually doing that on week 7. So I'm going to take that out of there and redo that for you. I'm going to let you know that. So you're just going to be completing the exam. I will get back to that, get that finished for you and corrected so when you open it up, it's not going to even show that. Here is the week 8 PowerPoint. There is no discussion forum. It is only your final exam and your end of course survey. Here are the directions for the exam, just like they've been under that blue here button the whole time. So it's going to open at midnight on Sunday of week 8, and it'll close on Saturday, 11:59. You can turn in it in at any time that you want. You can use your notes, your books, your flip charts, whatever you need. The internet, I only ask that you don't consult with each other on it. So you're going to be completing the chart. The definition, which would go here. See, the best thing to do is to download this, type in the box, and then save it, and then put it back in that submit section. The definition and how would you apply it in the classroom? Not when, not what it is, but how would you apply it? So like for an example, if I'm doing a readability, then how would I apply it? I would give that readability on a particular text to see where my student what type of, whether my student is ready for that particular text or a text in general, to be able to interact with it. So that's what that is. And this asks, what's the most important information you've learned, and so on and so on. These are pretty simple. This is not scored, but it is absolutely required. What suggestions do you have for improving the course? If you have anything you like really well, you can say that as well. Just let me know about that. All right, I think that really does everything for the remainder of the course. As always, I remain readily available to you. Please make sure that if you have any questions, you email, text, call. I will tell you that on the day of February 1st, I will be flying and will not be available that day to actually access the course on my computer. If you needed to ask a question, I can likely answer it just from memory of what's going on. But I will be unavailable on that particular day. So have a wonderful rest of your week and remainder of this course, and I will talk with you soon.